Hi, I'm Sébastien Vincent, a patient research partner with the Autopix project. And today, together with Professor Thomas Hügle, we're going to talk and discuss about the role of AI and its impacts. Thomas?
Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas Hügle. I'm a rheumatologist from Lausanne, Switzerland, and interested in digital tools and AI. Welcome.
Maybe I start by saying my use of AI is punctual, meaning I use it a bit for email since I do not work anymore. I do not have as much usage for managing the stream of emails as most people have. But on the other hand, I use it for doing researches of information on the internet, and deep search is really helpful in getting first to know a topic, and I have put to use into Autopix. I use it also when I write longer documents in order to help structure and not miss points in the different parts. And you, Thomas, how do you use it?
Well, every day, to be honest, mainly ChatGPT, the Pro version, also sometimes for translations, longer text or structure. Definitely sometimes to check for LinkedIn posts for spelling, etc. I try to avoid this complete creation of text by large language models. So I give an idea, but I'm very happy about the help. I don't use it for emails, for example. I know other people do. And maybe on the clinical side, we will discuss separately.
Yeah, I think that's obviously okay. That's good. So I think it's very important or very, yeah, for patients. The question is how this is influencing the relationship with the doctor is central to many of the questions that patients see, that I see, and that other patients see. So my comment is uncertainty, but on the other hand, there is a mix of fear and hope. So what's your view on this?
But I see it. I see patients using it. So we saw that 20 years ago by Google, that was in the beginning a bit, annoying sometimes when, just patients came up with lists from Google. Now there's a kind of a second wave of information obtained by AI, and I see patients better prepared now, as if they already discussed with a colleague. So this is helping. They're coming up with differential diagnosis, such as recently still disease. Could it be still? Yes, it could. So I do see obviously important use of LLMs by patients, but I see it in a good way. Has better quality than 20 years ago with Google.
Okay, well, that's good. Good to hear. And that's from the patient part and from the medical side. Do you have colleagues or other people you work with that are using it in some way?
Well, I think large language models most of the time. Some people use more open evidence, DeepSeek or ChatGPT or others, Claude. But yes, I mean, we usually use it for reasoning, right? It's not a real diagnosis support or a clinical decision support. It's more reasoning. Could it be this? What are the guidelines here? And so you have to be very careful with the content, because these are not medical devices, at least the ones most of us use. But for reasoning, I would say everybody uses it. So maybe it was a bit more up to date, or even Google before. Now it's that.
Yeah, well, okay, that sounds good. There's another topic which I find very important, which is the protection of data.
Okay.
And that is because the sensitivity of health data is large. So as soon as we put some clinical or some medical data into one of those models, either for training, and that is one question, and the other one is for usage, this starts generating more of the questioning type of approach than the optimistic view of, yes, it helps a lot. How do you see that?
Okay. Just let me complete the other topic on AI
Okay.
in the clinical decision before we come
Okay.
to data. Sorry, I should have mentioned this,
No, no,
but
that's fine.
where we use it concretely is in imaging.
Mm.
So when we look at X-rays or MRIs, there are, by the way, more the private radiology institutes. They use it at the moment, at least in Switzerland, for automated detection of osteoarthritis, for example. So far, it's osteoarthritis. Probably it will also be rheumatoid arthritis or erosions or something. But here we use it. And then probably our colleagues in pathology, they use it now. Remember there are more than 1,200 AI algorithms cleared by FDA. So the American, entity to accept AI models, and many of them are in imaging and some also in pathology. So I think here we use it more than we think. Probably it's also in use when you get a CT scan, an MRI or something to reduce the dose. There are also AI algorithms. So what we see is only the tip of the iceberg. Probably they use it more and more.
Yeah.
Mainly, I would say this is it in clinical use. Now, for data privacy, data security, it's a good question. Usually it's a bit of gray zone at the moment because everybody uses ChatGPT, and yes, it should be anonymous, etc. But we actually, we don't know. Same is for email, by the way. Yeah? I mean, there are patient data going through emails, which is not a medical device neither. So there's a gray zone, but what we need clearly is that all hospitals or private practices have LLM models on premises so that the data stays here. That's for sure. Otherwise, I would be a bit concerned where the data, especially in these closed large language models like ChatGPT, for example, go. It's a bit easier with the open ones, like the Llama based that you can put on your hospital server.
Yeah. Well, I think exactly. So you touched on many of the points, and I think what is interesting for the AutoPix community is to discuss how we are tackling this within the project and what is being done so that the security of the patient data is being ensured or covered in the best possible way today. So any
Sorry, there was a interruption. I mean, there are some clear steps like data anonymization, etc., that are clear. And then the data must be on specific servers, and they need to be secured. It's probably that the cloud servers are safer now than a computer in your back office. There's a bit of a change. A couple of years ago, we were afraid of the cloud. On the other hand, again, it's probably much easier to sneak in your computer in your office or home rather than on a secured cloud.
Yeah.
So we
And
are.
yeah, one thing I really liked when we discussed it within the project was the approach of having two separate clouds. One which was for the entry of the data and was basically a waiting room and one where the most of the analysis is done, and this one is more protected and more separated from the outside. And I thought that was a very good feature built in at the beginning of AutoPix, which helps ensuring that the data of patients which is put in, because many patients will be concerned in rheumatology in Europe by that project. And I think that's a very important and very good feature that I would like to underline. Because that is one key step into ensuring, with the other things like anonymization, data minimization, and all the other steps that are carried out, ensuring that the safety of the data is as good as we can make it today.
There's another point that where the cloud infrastructure helps. Let's say at the end of AutoPix one day, we have created algorithms and we improve, clinical decision support or even a foundation model, or, in order to use it or that other people could use it, you need an interface. Data and AI algorithms, that's one thing, but being able to use them, it's another thing. So that used to take a lot of time to program apps or browser applications. Right now on the cloud, they're often ready to go. So you're much quicker. And my hope is that during AutoPix, gathering the data, developing models, creating a ground truth, to create solutions that then we can use or other researchers can use, for example, much more efficiently.
Yeah, and I think researcher is the first step logical of, I would say, the future outcome of AutoPix. The city rheumatologist and the patients is the biggest pool also of people which will probably or possibly and hopefully be positively influenced by the result of such work, because being at the forefront of what is being done, creating models specific for rheumatology right now, which is what the project is working on, is all very nice and it's important for research in general, but critical is how this will be put into place afterwards. And from my patient perspective, it is extremely good that we do that now and that we already try and see how we can ensure that to do the best for the rollout into the wild world. So I think that's
you're addressing the impact of AutoPix. And I agree, yeah. And for me, the metaphor would be if we are able to use every pixel, to help our understanding, because it's AutoPix, so it's based on imaging. But the project is, has the aim to better use imaging and not just looking at it. So also maybe pixels or images within the image you can't see, that they help us to better predict treatment response, for example, or outcome, or personal medicine. That's a bit my hope, that the impact of pixel, like the pixel in your background, Sébastien, and each pixel of images helps to, set the puzzle together to better understand rheumatic diseases and to better treat them.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned, which is an improvement into the assessment or even a prediction of treatment efficiency, this is a great hope, because obviously today it's not easy to decide which treatment to do and whether it has high chances of working. Of course, there is a lot of medical know-how and studies that have been done, but having additional help for improving the results of those is, for me, a great potential outcome of such a massive effort that is being put today in, such as in AutoPix.
If there was a book, what we don't know, It's much bigger than the book, what we do know. And even then, if you think of books nowadays, the half-life of medical knowledge is so fast that, it's almost not worth it to write books anymore. But I agree. If we can help with autopics, that would be good. Another thing is that, we also create algorithms that stay. So we train models, and, in my daily practice, I train as many algorithms as young doctors. And then you can say, oh, that's critical, that's not good. But on the other hand, they work all the time. They do their job. I mean, they need to be validated. So I think training algorithms for a certain ground truth is a good thing. Autopics will not help to replace clinicians. Definitely not. But it will help maybe to do better predictions, maybe to streamline, maybe also to automize. This is why it's auto certain tasks that are very simple or relatively simple. So we can put more workforce in, creating solutions.
Yeah, it's interesting because this echoes some of the debates happening actually presently on AI, which is the question is whether the simplification of simple tasks is the major objective, or whether the development of new thinking abilities is the major thing. So I'm not pretending that we need to make a choice or a difference or on this, because there's a lot of very wise people, like much more knowledgeable about the topic of AI, which are debating and trying to find the way forward. But I think it's at the heart of the discussions at the moment that humanity has in general with artificial intelligence, which is to know how it inserts itself into our daily life and what will it lead us to as humans and as a group of individuals. And we are here in a community of people concerned with rheumatology, be it as patient or as medical or researcher. And I think we are in society, and that's, I would say, the proof of it.
Yeah, agents or AI agents came to stay. So I think it's both. I think they will take over simple tasks in our workflow, and we need it. We want to have less burnout. We want to respond quicker to patient queries. I had a discussion yesterday with a patient who said, "Look, I waited 2 months for my report. It was probably because it was actually in August, where everybody was on holidays. First the junior doctor, then the secretary, then the senior doctor. So I think we can do better. So agents come, they will go into our workflow. But on the other hand, as you say, Sebastian, we need AI also for the bigger picture, for clustering, for analyzing, is arthritis one disease, or in reality it's 3 or 4 different diseases, or lupus, for example, or fibromyalgia. So I agree. So AI could do both, but we still need to train it and to judge it.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yep, seems we are at the end. So thank you all for listening, and let's continue to make Autopics a success.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks to all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.